I used to think I had good instincts, that I was careful and cautious when buying things online, but I was wrong. I'll never forget that day. The day I went to pick up a used mirror from a woman I met online and walked into something I can't explain. Before I tell you what happened, make sure you're subscribed. I share real-life horror stories every week. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. I was 23 at the time, just moved into a small apartment after a breakup. I wanted to decorate the place a little, make it feel like mine. Money was tight, so I started browsing online marketplaces, cheap furniture, secondhand stuff, you name it. That's how I found her post. A beautiful, antique-looking mirror, golden frame, carved vines along the edge, a little cracked on one corner but still gorgeous. She was selling it for less than half its worth. We exchanged a few messages. She said her name was Marian, and she sounded polite. Older, maybe in her 30s. When I asked if I could come that evening to see it, she quickly said yes. She even offered to help me carry it to my car. It felt harmless. Normal. Her place was on the older side of town. Those huge apartment buildings that look more like converted warehouses. When I pulled up, the street was oddly quiet. No kids playing, no traffic. Just a faint hum of the city somewhere far off. Marian was waiting outside, waving as soon as she saw me. She had a warm smile, but something about her movements felt off, a bit rushed. She apologized immediately. "Sorry about the mess inside," she said. "I've been cleaning out old things." When I stepped into her apartment, I noticed the smell first, like dust and something faintly metallic. The hallway walls were bare except for old nail marks. The floor creaked with every step. In the living room, leaning against the wall, was the mirror, and it was even more beautiful in person. But there was something strange about it. The glass had a depth that didn't make sense, like it reflected more than the room behind me. While I examined it, Marian was fidgeting with her hands. "It belonged to my mother," she said softly. "She passed away last year. I just can't keep it here anymore." I nodded, feeling a pang of sympathy. "I understand. It's beautiful, though." She smiled, a quick, tense twitch of her lips, then looked toward the mirror again. "You can have it for less," she said suddenly. "Just take it today, please." Something about her urgency made me uneasy. But the mirror was perfect, and the price was too good to argue with. I told her I'd grab the cash from my car. That's when she stopped me. Her tone shifted, cold, controlled. "Oh no," she said. "You can send it to me instead." "I don't like cash." I explained I didn't have any online transfer app at the moment, which was true, and I tried to walk toward the door. She moved first, blocking my path. Her eyes darted toward the hallway behind me, as if she was listening for something, and for a brief moment I thought I heard it too. A soft thud. Like a door shutting somewhere deeper inside the apartment. "Is someone else here?" I asked. She didn't answer. Instead, she gave a small, trembling laugh. Just the house settling. I don't know why I stayed another second, but something about her body language made me feel frozen. Like leaving would somehow offend her. I forced a smile. "I'll just go grab the money, okay?" As I turned toward the door, she reached out suddenly, grabbing my wrist. Her hand was ice cold. "You shouldn't look in it," she whispered. I pulled away, my pulse pounding. "Excuse me?" She blinked as if waking up. "The mirror," she said. "Don't look in it tonight. Wait till morning." I laughed nervously. "Okay, sure." I left, practically ran out. Once I was in my car, I told myself she was just weird. Grieving, maybe. I drove home with the mirror in my back seat, its reflective surface catching flashes of passing streetlights. When I carried it inside, my apartment felt different. Smaller. like the air had thickened. I set the mirror against the wall in my living room and covered it with an old sheet, promising myself I'd hang it properly in the morning. But I couldn't stop thinking about what she said. Don't look in it tonight. That night, I woke up around 3 a.m. I didn't know why at first, until I heard something soft. A dragging sound. My heart pounded. I thought maybe I'd left a window open. I got up, switched on my phone flashlight, and followed the sound. It was coming from the living room. The sheet I'd covered the mirror with was on the floor. And the mirror was tilted slightly. My reflection looked like me, but wrong. A fraction slower, like it hesitated. My eyelids blinked and the reflection didn't quite keep pace. My breath caught. I felt a flicker of panic, convincing myself I was seeing things. Sleep deprivation, stress. The next morning, I texted Marian, just to ask if she'd ever had strange experiences with it. No response. A few hours later, when I checked her online profile, it was gone. Deleted. That afternoon, I decided to take the mirror back. I wasn't about to live with something that made me feel that uneasy. When I got to her building, the door to her apartment was slightly open. I called her name, but no one answered. The apartment looked different. Emptier. Dustier. The mirror was gone, and on the wall where it used to stand faintly visible under the peeling wallpaper were handprints. Small, pale ones pressed into the paint. I backed out, heart racing, and almost tripped on my way to the car. When I got home, I started with the obvious. Online searches. Marian, her profile. I typed variations of her name, old addresses, anything that might give me a trace. Nothing. Then I started searching for the mirror. Antique mirrors of this style were common enough, but I couldn't find one matching hers exactly. Odd. The crack on the corner, the carvings, even the faint dent in the frame. Nothing online looked like it. Almost as if it was custom made. I couldn't shake the feeling that Marian wasn't who she said she was. The thought terrified me. I began watching my apartment closely. Every morning the mirror seemed slightly different. The angle, the reflection. At first I told myself I was imagining it, that the slight tilt was from me or the floorboards. But then I started noticing shadows, shifts in the background of the reflection that didn't exist in reality. Objects would seem just slightly out of place. A picture frame that was straight on the wall would appear tilted in the glass. A chair I'd left facing the couch seemed to turn inward. I didn't tell anyone. Who would believe me? Friends would say I was overreacting. Family would tell me to stop being paranoid. I felt alone, and I knew that isolation made the fear grow. One evening, I decided to dig deeper. I checked local property records, cross-referencing the address Marian had given me. I found the building, but the apartment number didn't exist anymore, according to the records. It had been vacant for years. My stomach dropped. The building had a few tenants listed, none of them matching Marian's name. I drove by the area a few times, during the day and at night, trying to spot her. Nothing. No sign of her. No lights. No movement. And yet the memory of her apartment, the smell, the shadows, the urgency, it felt more real than ever. I decided to document everything. Every shift in the mirror, every shadow, every anomaly. I set up my phone to record a time lapse while I slept. The first night, the footage was unsettling. My movements seemed delayed in the reflection. At one point, I turned on my phone light, and the reflection didn't respond the same way. My hand would lift. The reflection hesitated, almost like it was thinking. I couldn't sleep for days. My apartment became a pressure cooker of fear and paranoia. I began avoiding the living room entirely. The mirror sat, covered, like a relic of some experiment gone wrong. Then I noticed something new. The mirror started changing in subtle ways. The carvings along the frame, the vines, looked sharper, more defined, almost like they had grown overnight. The crack in the corner seemed longer, deeper. I touched the glass lightly. My fingers left no mark, but I swear the reflection flinched at the same moment I pulled back. I had to know where it came from. I called Marian's number, blocked now, but my phone somehow had it in the log. A message option appeared. I hesitated, then sent a simple text. "Who are you? What is this mirror?" No reply. Desperate, I dug through old classified ads, forums, antique shops. Nothing. Until I found one obscure forum post from years ago. Someone mentioned a Marian, selling an antique mirror with strange effects. The post was brief, but the description matched perfectly. The carvings, the crack, the reflective oddities. There was a warning: do not look too long. Some who have purchased it disappear into the mirror. I froze reading that. Disappear into the mirror. The thought lodged in my mind and wouldn't let go. I tried to rationalize. Probably a troll, someone exaggerating for attention. Yet the more I watched my own reflection, the more I felt wrong inside. My friends noticed changes. I was jumpy, irritable, distracted. I would stare at the mirror through the sheet, unable to look directly at it, yet compelled to see. Then the dream started. In them, I would walk into Marian's apartment. It was empty. The mirror sat in the center of the room. Every time I approached it, I felt a tug. Not physically, but mentally, like it wanted me to step inside. I'd wake up sweating, heart racing, my own reflection in my bedroom mirror looking unfamiliar. Sometimes, the figure behind me would be there for just a split second, gone when I turned. I began keeping a journal, noting every oddity, every shadow, every strange flicker. And then I realized the patterns aligned with Marian's description. Urgency, her warning, the insistence that I shouldn't look too closely. The more I investigated, the more I felt like I was being watched. Like the mirror wasn't just a piece of furniture, it was an observer. One day, I noticed a faint fingerprint on the corner I had touched countless times. Small, delicate, like a woman's hand. I never touched that spot. I wiped it away. Next morning, another print. Same place. Panic hit me. I couldn't explain it. I checked locks, windows, anything, nothing, yet every day the prints returned. I called a locksmith, a friend, anyone. I could think of trying to figure out if someone had a way to manipulate the mirror. Some hidden mechanism. Nothing. The mirror was solid, ordinary. Except not. I considered destroying it, breaking it, but something inside me stopped me. Not rationally, not consciously. It felt like the mirror needed to stay. And the longer it stayed, the more I noticed how small changes in my behavior and perception seemed connected to it. My mind felt subtly altered. Subtle paranoia, small disorientation. I began to question what was real. Finally, I decided to document Marian's address again. Maybe I could trace her somehow. I went to city records, old directories, obscure archives, and I found it. Her apartment had been abandoned for over a decade. Reports showed several tenants had vanished or moved out suddenly, all tied to the sale of that same mirror. I froze. I had been talking to someone who shouldn't exist. I never went near that area again, but the mirror stayed. And with every day, every look, every shadow, it reminded me some things you bring home are never just objects. I don't look at it anymore. I cover it completely. I can't explain the prints, the reflections, or the mental pull it has over me, but I know it watches. And I know Marian. She's still out there somewhere. probably waiting for the next person to investigate. And this when I realized that I didn't just buy a mirror. I bought a story I couldn't escape. If you're watching this, remember, some bargains are too good to be true. And some reflections aren't yours.